I like Vanderbilt too.
I mean,
Ole
is
Miss
Cooper
is the
Rush worth
play.
2.5 points?
I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false? This is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sword.
Yo, what's up? Happy Friday. Hope you're all having a nice day. Looks like I'm in jeopardy of losing my first bet of the day. I have Memphis plus 1.5. They are down 7 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. So hopefully, I mean, there's still enough time there. But it looks like I'm going to start the day off with a loss. My big bet is Ole Miss, though. My big college basketball bet. And then I have a bunch of NBA tonight. But Ole Miss plus 110 money line. That's what I'm on. That game's tipping off in a few minutes. There's March Madness on. So we're not going to sit here just chit-chatting. Let's get right to it. Orlando, Washington. I got under 217 last night. I would still play it at the current number. It looks like if you look around, you can find a 216 or a 216.5. A lot of patterns pointing towards an under here. I know Washington runs a fast pace, but their offense is terrible. And Orlando against bad offenses has been heavy under. Orlando against fast-paced teams has been heavy under. Whenever Washington plays a slow-paced team, it goes under. So many patterns pointing towards an under here. Not to mention Orlando's a defense that puts pressure on the perimeter, doesn't let you take those three-point shots, which is what Washington's trying to do. A lot pointing towards an under here. 217 under. Oh, it's 215.5. If you look, you can get a better number than that. But yeah, I'm on the under.
Yeah, I see 216.5 out there.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean, I know both of these teams kind of playing opposite pace-wise, but I think the better team will be able to control the pace in this game. So it should be played slower, more defensive, at least from their point of view. Under seems like the play for me.
Chris?
What up, fellas? I did bet this one. I bet Orlando. I got a 7, I think. I think it moved to, what is it?
8.5.
8.5 now? Yeah, I took Orlando here. For whatever reason, they own the Wizards. They play really, really well against them. They've won 8 straight. They've covered 4 straight. They've covered 7 of the last 8. They don't have a game until Monday, and it's a terrible spot for Washington. First game back after, I think it was a 7-game road trip. They played 9 of their last 10 games on the road, and it's the first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Knicks tomorrow in the Garden, so right back on the road. And if you go in and look at it, this is why I like your under a lot, Kyle. If you go in and look at it, it kind of feels like Washington is doing what Toronto is doing recently. If you go in and look at Jordan Poole minutes, he's played like 13 and 14 minutes in the last couple games. Like, so they're like mailing it in and kind of like trying to develop some of the younger guys. His points prop today is listed at 13.5 for Jordan Poole. Like, that lets you know, right? The books are already kind of caught on. So, I think Orlando wins the game. I think they win in dominant fashion. I agree with your under, Kyle. Maybe a Washington team total under 104.5 as well.
Chris, they took the GOAT Champagny out of the lineup. This team is not trying to win. They're a group of bullshitters. I agree with
his lines. His lines are actually available though. Probably like he's like on one of. I was just looking at it on Prop Madness. His lines are. He's like one of only 4 players I think available for the Wizards. I think today.
Yeah, because they're trying to take advantage of the suckers. I mean, it's a trap, and this league is disgusting.
Next up. Houston on the road at Miami. I bet this one. This is the only one of my bets where the market moved against. Well, it kind of moved against me. So I bet this game twice. I have a Houston -4 ticket and a Houston -5 ticket. You can get 4.5 though. It moved up to 5.5, and I was feeling pretty good about it. Then moved back down. I don't really understand.
Why? It's because of Wiggins. It's because of Wiggins, Kyle. He got ruled up to upgrade the probable. Yeah.
I don't care. I had it at 7 with Wiggins, so I'm not worried about that. Miami's been terrible, right? What if they 0-9 in their last 9 or something like that? They've been absolutely terrible. But specifically, what has Miami struggled with this year? Good rebounding teams. They're 5-19 against the spread, against the top 10 teams in defensive rebounding. Houston might be the best rebounding team in the NBA. Also, Miami's just struggled against good teams in general. They've been much more profitable against bad teams. This is a short number. Houston's playing really, really well right now. On top of that, you might get Thompson back, who is one of the team's best rebounders, to even add to Miami's problems. Wiggins might be back. Thompson's back for Houston. I think Rockets win comfortably. Houston up. Ski?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think you said the Rockets. Well, anyway, I'll just say like this. My bad. I don't remember exactly what you said, but the Heat, they just stink right now. They can't win the game. The offense looks terrible. Can't get any stops. They are playing really slow too. For anybody who cares about the total, they can't rebound, and we know how much you love the Rockets against teams who can't rebound. So it makes a lot of sense. But what doesn't make sense is the Rockets are on this big streak, right? Why is the line only 4.5, 5.5? Like, Rockets have been winning by way more than this margin. And as bad as the Heat have been, I feel like the number should have been bigger. So I don't like to bet on the sides where I feel like they're begging me to take it. Feels like they're begging me to take Houston here. So I think this is one of those games where 1 + 1 = 23. I think that the Heat will cover. I can't tell you how, but I think the Heat will cover.
1 + 1 = 23. What does 1 + 1 equal for you, Chris?
23 some days. I tried to lay the 4.5 and the 5. I know exactly what Ski's talking about. I thought Detroit was going to come in there and mollywop them the other day too, and I was on the wrong side of that one. Miami did take my money in that spot, but I'm with you, Kyle. I faded them again because every time I fade a team and I'm wrong, then I'm like, oh man, well maybe I missed something, and I don't fade them the next game. The Heat have covered 1 of their last 9 games. It just happened to be the one that I picked them not to cover. So I agree with everything you said, Kyle. Houston's real good. ATS on the road, 20-12-1 against the number. Miami's only 16-7 against the number. The other thing, and this may be the reason, Ski, that the number is where it is, or where at least where it opened at. I didn't even see it open where at 4, like Kyle was mentioning. But if you go in and look at it, Houston is actually Miami's beaten Houston 9 straight times. 9 straight, including the one earlier this season. So you can't be laying with so many points on the road when you've lost a team 9 straight times. They were 8.5-point home favorites. And that was the game that Amin Thompson threw Tyler Hero on the ground and they got into it. Tyler Hero's like, whoa, I don't want no smoke. I don't want that smoke. So I think there's a little bit of a rivalry here. I think Houston wants to win this game. And they're like both of you guys said, they're playing much better basketball. 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the number. They don't play again until Sunday. And everything Kyle said about Houston dominating the glass both offensively and defensively. The other thing that Kyle didn't mention was the jump shooting. Miami at their strength, at their best, if Bam's not going to give you 30, which he's not going to do that all the time. I think that's why they lost. Didn't cover against Detroit the other day on that Cade Cunningham three-pointer. But Miami at their heart, they're a jump shot shooting team. Like 8th in frequency and spot up on the season. Houston is top 5 guarding the three-point line. So yeah, I like everything for Houston. I bet them -5 last night.
Man, Memphis sucks. I'm never sticking up for Penny Hardaway again. Next up.
Real quick, Kyle. I was just at the casino. I came back to come talk to you gentlemen. But my friend that I was with asked about the sheet to see, what the spread was for Memphis. The entire sheet was there. And at the corner at the bottom, it was ripped off for Memphis. He said, I think that's a sign for me not to take Memphis.
Yeah, it was.
It looks like he was right.
Oh, they missed both. They missed a free throw, though. Memphis is going to need a 3 on this possession. He shoots it. Yeah, no. Turning this off. Next game. Memphis loses. Sixers.
I'm not laughing at you.
No.
I don't want you to lose.
Oh, no. Good. I've been so hot recently. I'm good. Sixers, Spurs, and San Antonio. Look, I'm guilty of throwing some harsh words in the direction of the city of Philadelphia. I get it. I've been kicking them when they're down. I think this is a sneaky spot to play on Philadelphia. I don't have the nuts to do it. I don't have what it takes to actually place this bet. It takes a certain level of fortitude to bet the Sixers right now. But I think this is the spot to do it, man. The Spurs are playing 0 defense. The 3-point shot's going to be there for San Antonio. But you could say the exact same thing on the other side. The Spurs can't stop anybody out there. And this Sixers team is launching threes. And, I mean, the pieces that are out for Philadelphia, Lowry, Oubre, Maxey, I mean, they're pieces that Drummond that may be guilty of being a little bit complacent. Veterans that are like, we're not good this year. You got young, hungry guys getting the minutes. I think 6 is too many. I would put this one at about 4. So if you put a gun to my head and said, Kyle, place a bet on this game, I'm seeing a 6.5 on FanDuel, a 6.5 on BetMGM, and I'm taking it. That's what I'm going. Philadelphia plus 6.5 if I'm betting this game. Ski?
Yeah, I'm with you. If I'm betting this game, because I don't know, I just it makes sense, but I just couldn't push confirm. Like, I don't know that I want to sit here and sweat Philadelphia today for my money out of all the games that we have to choose from in both sports.
Yeah, in March Madness too. No way.
That's what it boiled down to for me. But you guys know, I always say, can't lay with teams that can't get stops. And the Spurs are one of those teams that you can't trust to get stops. They're allowing an average in north of 120 last 5 games. So it's Philly or pass. I just figured I'll choose my battles today.
And Chris says he agrees. We're sweeping the 76. The show has reached an all-time low.
Bro, it's just like, how can you lay that many points? Like Ski said, with a team that's not getting any kind of stops, man. So I know Philly has been feisty too. I know they just got smoked, but that was against OKC, a really good defensive team. Before that, they went to Houston. They battled, like you mentioned at the top, Kyle. Like this team with Butler and Grimes. Like these guys are fighting for contracts next year. So when they see Oubre and Bona and all the other guys for Philly that's not playing, they're like, okay, cool. That's another opportunity for me. So I just can't lay it with San Antonio just because of what they beat the Knicks, and the Knicks were in a bad travel spot last game. It'd be Sixers plus the points here. And I also think it goes over. I know that the total has come all the way down to 234.5. I don't agree with that. I think both of these teams. So the reason why one of the hiccups for me with Philly is they're the worst rebounding team. Last 5 games, last 10 games, full season, offensively, defensively. San Antonio is at least 7th in offensive rebound rate. So maybe San Antonio gets some boards in this spot, but both teams are going to shoot a bunch of threes. Both teams are top 5 in pace. Both teams are bottom 10 in defensive rating, bottom 5 in defensive rating. So I'm expecting those threes to fall, expecting the game to be played with a lot of pace. That's the way I would want to play it. 234.5, just take the over. I think both of these teams can get to 118, 120.
I have one question. I don't want to prolong the show too much, but the rebounding numbers, were those full season numbers? Both.
So offensively, the Sixers are the worst offensive rebounding team on the full season. They're 28th in last 10 games and 29th in last 5 games. And then on the defensive end, they're bottom 10 in all 3 as well.
Let's move on to the next one. Someone called Prop Beaver the mauled beaver because of his face right now.
It's a cruel world.
It looks better. I've been using products.
I didn't notice it until you were on camera yesterday. When everyone started commenting about it, I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't even notice it when you walked in.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the lighting or whatever, but I think it makes it look worse than it is. It does look rather bad.
New Orleans, Minnesota. Man, shout out to those of you who took Pelicans money line based on what I said the other night. I got some comments on Twitter, some DMs, like, thanks for the Pelicans money line. I didn't even bet it, but I said I wanted to do it on the show. They won. If you guys remember, I won't give the whole spiel again, but basically, what are the Pelicans' 2 biggest weaknesses this year? There's 2. Number 1, defense in transition. If you run the fast break, it's going to be an all-you-can-eat buffet against this Pelicans defense. They cannot defend the fast break. Number 2, defensive rebounding. They get cleaned up on the offensive glass. That's why I love the matchup for Houston against them recently, and I had Houston as a top pick that night. So those are the Pelicans' 2 biggest weaknesses. What does Minnesota not do? Run the fast break. They're literally dead last in transition frequency, and they have no offensive rebounding presence. They're a bottom 5 offensive rebounding team. So the Pelicans' 2 biggest weaknesses, Minnesota doesn't do either of those. Now, is Minnesota the significantly better team? Of course. Are they at home coming off a loss, an embarrassing loss? Of course. Is there's no Zion Williamson? Of course. So, again, I'm going to say copy and paste what I said last time. The play is New Orleans here. This is a good matchup for them, and this is a big number. But I don't have the nuts to do it. I think the Pelicans could beat them again, honestly, without Zion.
I had the Pelicans in the last matchup, in the last game. I will not take the Pelicans. I will take the Timberwolves in this game.
You would like 14.5.
I think they're going to whoop ass.
Oh,
today.
you know what? I know. It's because Ski's a big Julius Randle guy. That's why.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. No, absolutely not. But this situation, like, when you get embarrassed like that, like, they were supposed to win that game easily, and to lose outright and play again in such a short time frame, like, that's right there on your mind. So I do think it's levels to this, as my boy Dutch would say, and Minnesota is going to show them today. They were just a team who was on a big winning streak. they had a little hiccup and now we're running the other way. No Zion, nah, no way. Give me the Timberwolves. They're gonna win by 20 plus in this game.
You agree, Chris?
No, I don't agree. But I'm not against Ski in this spot. I think more so first half. I think because they were embarrassed the way that they were, now no Zion, you'll see the effort and energy from Minnesota locked in early in the spot. And that's what they talked about in the post-game interview. So take Zion off the floor. I'm not really sure where the scoring is going to come from. I also think CJ McCollum under his 21.5 points, because it is going to be a blowout, is probably a good look in this game. I think they pack it in early. If you go back and look at the last game too, Kyle, the one thing that stood out to me was how well the Pelicans shot from the three-point line. They shot 45% from the three-point line. There's gonna be some regression coming for the Pelicans. They're bottom 5 3-point shooting team in the league. So without Zion getting downhill to create those the scoring opportunities, because he had 8 assists as well to go with 29 points in that last game, I think they're gonna struggle to score the basketball. They shot 53% overall, and they dominated the boards a large part in the Zion as well, 54-36. Not that the Timberwolves are a great rebounding team, but I think belt to ass early in this one. -9 first half, I think, is the best look here. I didn't bet it though.
Belt to ass early.
Speaking of belt, put the belt up.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
I got
Oh, you got him to back off, Ski. I like that.
I don't even like it. I don't even like it. I'll put the belt up in. I got 2 coming up that if you're on the other side.
All right.
This is not one of them. Charlotte, Oklahoma City. Dude, I don't want to say anything. Pass.
We got a lot of March Madness to watch. We can just skip this.
Let's just skip it. Chris, you don't have anything to say, do you?
Hell no.
So if you guys watch the video, we're on to Detroit, Dallas now for those listening. If you watch the video last night, I said I kind of like the under. It was at like 236, and it's down to 231.5. I wish I bet it. The reason it's a little tough to take an under here is the pace of play. Probably going to see a fast pace here. Not to mention, I mean, Detroit's going to attack the rim. They're going to attack the paint, and there's not a damn thing Dallas could do to stop. I mean, who's protecting the paint for the Mavs right now?
Kai Jones.
Big Kai.
Yes. Point. Just case in point.
Caillou.
Kai Jones. Is that Kai Jones from a Texas Longhorn?
That's
Jones?
Crash Out Kai Jones. Yeah.
Crash
Out Kai.
Crash Out Kai. Yeah.
I don't know if that's his nickname, but I know the guy went to Texas. But the reason I like the under is, well, on the Dallas side, I don't have to tell you why I like the under. It's because they suck. They're a terrible offensive team, and the Pistons have played great defense, but great defense in the paint. That's why I like the under on that side. But you might be thinking, how can you count on Dallas to make stops? It's not that I necessarily think Dallas will make stops. There's one thing Dallas defense has been good at this year. It's transition. You can't get out and run on this Mavericks team. Before the injuries, after the injuries, I don't know. Maybe it's a coaching style or what. Maybe it's certain pieces. Maybe Klay Thompson. I doubt it's him. I don't know exactly what it is. Max Christie probably has something to do with it. Mavericks have been a top 3 defense against the fast break all year. And they don't just play great defense against the fast break. They also limit their opponents' opportunities to run in the fast break. So you got Detroit, instead of just running on everybody like they've been doing, maybe forced into some half-court possessions where they're still going to score, but it might take them 20 seconds to score rather than right away. I mean, I'm not going to bet it now. I should have bet it last night when we were talking about it. So it would only be under here, but this number's long gone. Honestly, at 9.5, I would consider Dallas as well, but I'm good. I have 2 more bets. We're getting to them. Ski?
Yeah, I have 2 bets, and this is not one of them. And I'm going to be honest, I just don't feel like talking about it.
I don't point you. Chris?
I feel you, Ski. So I agree with most of what you said, Kyle. The part I disagree with is Dallas' transition defense recently. Last 5 games, they're bottom 5 in opponent frequency and efficiency. Last 5 games. So I do think Detroit is going to be able to score the basketball with the total continuing to come down, because I expect them to dominate the paint, because I expect Dallas to try to get a lot of points in the paint. I do think that Detroit can win the game, cover it. But if I was playing it, which is on my short list, haven't pulled the trigger yet, I see a 119.5. I do think the game's going to be played fast. Detroit is 6th in pace last 5 games. Dallas is 4th in pace, also 28th in defensive efficiency. I do think they're going to be able to score. And somebody on my show earlier this morning mentioned that Cade is actually from Arlington. And every time he plays against the Dallas Mavericks, he has a really good game. So I know he's coming off a triple-double, maybe a player prop look towards Cade, but if he's going to play well, typically the team's going to play well. So I think Detroit scores 120 is what I'm trying to say. I think that they go up and over their team total. I think that's the safest way to play this one.
Next. Boston, Utah.
Skip, right? Skip, this is the one I want to talk about.
Yeah, I actually could. I could talk about it, but what's the point? I didn't bet it.
What did Kyle say? I think it was just they're feisty or whatever.
The Jazz at home.
Feisty.
We don't have the big three though. Nah, I'm good. I'm passing.
Yeah, I'm passing.
Denver, Portland. Everyone's flooded on over to Portland. Yeah, go ahead. Lay 1.5, lay 2 to Denver. Even without Jokic, I think the Nuggets are about to win this game.
We don't have an update on Jamal Murray, right?
I was gonna say, do you think Murray's gonna play with this line? Because if you got Portland laying 1.5, I mean, it's one thing for Jokic to be out. I would assume if Portland is laying 1.5, the two previous matchups, I think it actually might have been all three matchups. They got their ass beat.
No, Portland got one of them.
Portland did get one of them? Okay, maybe that makes things different. But I thought the last two, they got their ass beat. So I don't know. Just
well, when I ran the numbers on this one without Jokic with Murray, so if Murray plays, I had it at Portland -0.5.
Okay. Now what do you have it at if both Murray and Jokic don't play?
I didn't even check. I could do it
because
real
that's
quick,
an ankle injury for Murray, I believe, right? And those are finicky.
No Jeremy Grant, right?
No.
There's no Jeremy Grant, no Ayton, no Jabari Walker, no Robert Williams. Man, I don't know.
When do Denver play again? That's what I forgot to write in my notes. They play Houston on Sunday. Yeah. So that'd be an extra day. Battling with Houston right at the top of the conference, the Western Conference for seeding.
Without, I have a Portland -1.5 without Murray. I don't know. I think Denver's going to win. I also think it goes over the total, but this isn't one of my bets. Then I bet the last two games coming up. You can put Denver up because I think everyone's awfully comfortable laying points to the Nuggets here with Portland. Something else I forgot to mention about the Detroit game is their strength of schedule is eventually going to catch up. They haven't played anybody. Played like 1 or 2 tough games. But anyway, go on, Chris. What do you think?
I agree with you, Cal. Looking at the numbers, I kind of feel like when this line opened, I saw that Jokic was out before I saw the line. And I was like, okay, cool. We might be able to get Portland like +3, +2.5. And when I looked at it and saw -1, I was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't look as appetizing for me. I don't want to be laying points with Portland because we've seen the Nuggets play 8 games without Jokic this season. It's not like they're blind feed. They've only won 3 of them, but they've won 3 of the 8. So they're 3-5 against the number. We also just saw them beat the Warriors without Jokic very, very recently. So if Jamal Murray's in, I know that Portland's been playing really, really good. I know that they're really good at home, 21-14 against the number. Denver has struggled on the road, but without Jokic, it feels like they go out there and they actually have something to prove. So I kind of like the Nuggets too, but I would need Jamal Murray in. Probably not going to end up betting it. I disagree with you on the total, Kyle. I would look towards the under. Denver they got an offensive rating with Jokic on the floor of 127. Without him, she goes down to 105. So, and defensively, they get about 4 points better as well. So I do think it's an under game. Denver, Portland actually #1 in defensive rating the last 5 games, and they're playing at the bottom 5 pace. So I think it goes under, and I would be looking towards the Nuggets to be able to get an outright win.
Ski, is this one of your bets?
No, but why you got that weak ass Kansas hat on?
What's wrong with Kansas?
They suck, bro.
It's a sick hat, bro. You see the Jayhawk?
It's a nice hat. They just
that's why I got it on. Man, I have an image to uphold. All these subscribers, like I'm a fashion icon in this industry.
Yep.
Nothing for me, man.
Now we'll get to the last two, and I bet both of them got CLV on both of them. Basically, I'm a sniper.
Oh yeah, put the belt up.
You want to put the belt up on this one?
Put the belt up.
Cleveland -7. You're on Cleveland?
Put the belt up. Go ahead.
You're on the Suns.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm on Cleveland. So, yeah, Cleveland's lost 3 in a row, and all the little Cavs groupies are starting to panic. It's about time, man. It's about time you Cavs groupies got humbled. This is a perfect get-right spot for Cleveland, and I'm all about it. Number one, so why has Cleveland been struggling? It's not just one reason, but main reason is the three-point shots haven't been falling. It's a three-point shooting team, and the threes haven't been falling. They're 30th in three-point efficiency in the last 5 games. You take a three-point shooting team that goes cold from 3, yeah, they're going to lose some games. If your offense is shooting threes and they stop falling, I mean, three-point shooting is very volatile. I think against the Suns, who have been playing better defensive late, so I'm not going to absolutely shit on the Suns defense, but against the Suns defense that allows a lot of three-point attempts, I think it's a prime spot for the Cavs offense to bounce back in terms of hitting their threes. But more importantly, what does Cleveland do more than any other team in the NBA? Pick and rolls. They run the most pick and rolls. They're the best pick and roll offense in the NBA. And are you ready for this? This is when Ski wants to change his bet right here. One sec. Let me break out the numbers. I think you guys need to hear this. So Cleveland runs more pick and rolls than anyone. Best pick and roll offense in the NBA. Phoenix against pick and roll offenses. One second. The top 5 team. Oh, what's the wrong one? The top 5 teams that run the most pick and rolls, they're 0-10-1 against the spread. The top 10, 3-18-1 against the spread. Suns are trash. Cavs are going to score a whole lot of points in this one. Like I said, I got 7, but I have it at 10.5, so I would still bet it at 8.5. Believeland, belt up. Gladly belt up here, Ski.
Okay. Well,
blowout.
It didn't change my mind. I'll tell you that. When you talk about Phoenix, I'll be the first one to agree with you and say that they've been terrible for a majority of the year. But lately, they've been playing better. You look at, I think it's 3. Let me just pull it up here. I'm sorry. For the Suns, they scored 127, 129. They did lose to the Lakers, who have been, a juggernaut. They scored 122 versus Sacramento. They're playing good basketball. They're scoring. And like you said, they're even playing defense right now. This is not the same Suns team that we watched for a majority of the year. They're playing inspired basketball right now, or they're playing better right now because they want to make the playoffs. Right now, they're in that last play-in spot. They're literally, if they lose tonight, they're out again. Like, they need to continue to string together wins. And we've already heard multiple players on this team say, even KD, he acknowledged that he didn't go to the Warriors because he wanted to see what this team could do. They want to make the playoffs. They don't want to be on the outside looking in. So I think we get effort and energy from them. They're at home. They've been playing well lately. I love it. What have the Cavs been doing? I mean,
they have the best record in the NBA.
Ass. Yeah, that shit is cute. But what have they done for me lately? They've lost 3 games in a row. And you can make the argument, the Cavs off a loss has been great. Oh, you bet them again. What'd they do? Lose. Oh, Cavs off a loss. They I mean, you can talk about full season all day long, but what do they look like right now? It's not good.
3 games.
And I want to lay 7 points with that? No, absolutely not.
See,
I would take the points with the Suns.
I have a lot of experience with this Suns team, and when your friend starts talking to a girl, but she's crazy from experience, and you're like, dude, just don't. I know, it seems good now, and it seems like a good idea. That's kind of what I'm trying to, just don't with this. You use the word inspired. Ski used the word inspired when talking about the Suns. Inspired. They're playing inspired basketball. Those inspired and Suns don't belong in the same sentence. Chris, back me up.
Man, I hate when when it's up to me, because I do think both of y'all make valid points. If I'm betting right now, like Ski said, the Suns are playing a lot more inspired basketball. Everything that you said
you dropped inspired too.
Well,
inspired,
motivating basketball, I guess you could say, Kyle.
Just as bad.
So Kyle
was appalled at inspired.
Hey Kyle, 2 weeks ago, Kyle, I came on your show, and I think you agreed with me. I said Cleveland's about to start dropping some games. They done already wrapped up pretty much the number 1 seed. They're already in playoffs. They don't care as much. So motivationally, will they win this game by double digits? Here's the problem, Kyle. And I think we did this on a Sunday, maybe, me and you. It was a Saturday show me and you did. Cleveland was at home against Phoenix, and we loved Phoenix in that spot. It was so many different angles. Man, they lost by 30 in that game. And I remember, and they were getting like 9.5 on in that game. So I don't, just when I think Phoenix, like I want Phoenix, I don't want Phoenix either. I made some money with Phoenix earlier this week. I think I was like, they beat somebody, and I like bet with them one time. I can't remember who it was. Might have been the Grizzlies. That was the last time I bet on the Suns. I don't want anything to do with the Suns either. So I know it's a big number. So I kind of agree with you, Ski. I think they can keep it within the number, but I will be happily on the sideline. I think with the total dropping, just take the over. I don't expect the Suns defense to look as good against Cleveland. I agree with you, Kyle, that Cleveland's three-point shooting is going to come back. Cleveland don't seem to be playing any kind of inspirational on the defensive end either. So if we think both of those things, if we think both of those things are going to happen, we just expect points. And I think the total coming down is down to 234.5. I think this one 233.5. I think it goes up and over.
All right, Ski, your funeral. Let's go to the next game. I have a bet on this one. I got a really good number, though. I don't know if I would play it all the way up here. I got the Clips at 5 last night. I think I had it at 8, so my pick would still be Clippers. I don't know if I would play it all the way up here. Someone asked me earlier if I would still play it at 6.5, and I said maybe. This one's really, I just sniped a good number. As far as the matchup, well, obviously Memphis has no Ja Morant, but really what I'm looking at is a couple of things. Number one, the Clippers look really, really good right now. I mean, this is a top 10 team on both sides of the floor in the last 10 games. Norman Powell is back, and the thing with the Clippers is they're kind of, I don't want to say quiet, but it's like every once in a while they remind us when they're fully healthy that they can be really good, and we're kind of going through that wave again where you're like, oh shit, like the Clippers might be tough. Does anyone really think they're going to make noise in the playoffs? Maybe not, but they're more than capable 2 or 3 times a season to have a stretch where like, oh shit, the Clippers might be the hottest team in the West right now. I'm not saying that's what's happening right now. I'm just saying they have flashes of being very good, and it sustains for a few weeks. They look like they're right in the middle of that right now. Not to mention, they've been almost automatic at home. I think they're 11-4 against the spread in their last 15 at home. Memphis, 1 second, I have it here. Okay. So not only have the Clippers been really good recently, but they've been excellent at home. And Memphis against good teams has been a fade. I mean, 7-13 against the spread against top 10 offenses, 9-12 against the spread against top 10 defenses. They've been actually very profitable against bad teams. So if you've been blindly taking Memphis against bad teams, you're doing well. Blindly fading them against good teams, you're doing well. Blindly fading them against good teams. On the road against this Clippers team, fully healthy, definitely a good team. Think the Clips win comfortably. Would I bet it at 7? Probably not. But I think the Clips win by 10.
Now you're speaking my language, Kyle. Okay.
Oh, you sure you don't want to give me some inspirational speech about Memphis? Are they inspired, Ski?
Well, what I will say is the Clippers have been playing the inspired basketball, right? I mean, you can look at it this way. The Clippers, they looked before this stretch of good games, they were looking terrible. Most of those games were on the road, by the way. And we know about the home-road dichotomy, right? So they come home, they get healthy. I mean, they get healthy, that matters too, because they won a couple of road games. But they're another team who needs to move up in the standings. They can't sit around and bullshit. Like, they need to win these games. So a combination of that, combination of them playing well, sounds familiar, right?
Inspired.
They just beat the Cavs by 13. I mean, this Memphis team has lost 3 of their last 4, and they're losing to teams like the Kings, Portland. It's just 2 teams going opposite directions. I view this Clippers game and the game before the same way. I like the Clippers.
The Desmond Bane is questionable as well. When I placed this bet, so maybe Desmond Bane being questionable has something to do with the line moving. I think it moved to 6.5, and then Desmond Bane questionable might have moved it up to 7.
That's what happened, guys.
But I agree. The Clippers are playing inspired basketball. We should start a podcast, Inspired Basketball with Ski.
We only talk about good teams.
Chris, who would you say is the more inspired team here?
It's definitely the Clippers. And I agree with everything that both of y'all said. I think when I look at the game, I see a lot of points for the Clippers. Memphis defensively has like really fallen off as well. And the Clippers at home, I know Ski mentioned it a little bit. I think you did as well, Kyle. 24-10 against the number at the crib, 4-1 against the number last 5. They won 4 in a row, covered 7 of their last 8. They've also just been a really good matchup for Memphis. They've won and covered back-to-back games this season and 5 straight against the Memphis Grizzlies overall. And they also have the 1 day of rest advantage, which I think is paramount in this spot. So they're coming off 2 days rest, and they blew out whoever they played, the Cavs. They ended up blowing the Cavs out the other day. With the rest advantage at home, they're 11-5-1 against the number. With the rest advantage in general, 11-5-1, but 9-3 against the number if they're at home with the rest advantage as well. So I like that. I also like that Memphis takes a lot of just shots in the paint and in the mid-range. Clippers defensively, top 5, guarding both of those shot zones really, really well recently. And the number 1 offensive rated team, the Clippers are, last 5 games. A lot of their shots have been coming from 3 with Norman Powell being back. Seemed like Bogdanovich is finally getting into a rhythm as well. I think the Clippers are going to be able to score the basketball. Last thing I want to mention, because I played the team total up and over 119.5. It's dropped to 118 because the full game total came down, but I still think that they get to 120. The Grizzlies on the road are 15-2 to the over, giving up an average of 125 points, and they've gone over in 10 straight games. So I do think that the Clippers can kind of name their number. I bet the team total up and over 119.5, even though it's dropped to 118. You can get a better number than I got.
I like it. So let's get back to March Madness. Ski, do you see we're both in good shape?
I am not watching. I'm just going to walk.
I'm just looking at the score. Vandy's up 7 at half, and me and Ski's on Vandy. I'm on Ole Miss. That's what we're sweating right now.
There we go.
Ole Miss is up 11. It's early as hell in that one, but yeah.
What number you guys, Cal?
Money line plus 110
for Ole Miss. What you guys, Ski?
Vandy plus 4.5.
I almost bet 7, that too. Okay. I like Vanderbilt as well.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. All right, everyone, enjoy your Friday. Make sure you check out these 2 guys' YouTube channels. Ski does an afternoon show. Ski Profit, his name's written just like that under his face there. Same goes for Crispy Kappa with 2 N's at the end. Chris does a morning show called Wake That Ass Up, where they go through the NBA slate. Everyone, enjoy your weekend. I'm not sure if I'll be back tonight, but I'll be back in the morning to do the March Madness show. So if I don't talk to you guys tonight, see you all 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning.